What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking About Baseball. This is our very first weekly recap, so we're going to be covering a bit more than just the week. I do just want to say I have a bit of a sore throat today, so I might be talking like a bit quieter or something, but I don't think it'll be much of an issue. So pretty much what we're going to do, we're going to have the record in games, and then for every team we're going to have like their best pitcher and their best hitter of the week, in my opinion. And then we're going to have an AL and NL weekly MVP, and then like just some other headlines regarding the team. So we started off with the Rays. The Rays are 7-0, the only undefeated team so far. Their hitter of the week is Wander Franco. He has 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, a .380 average, and a 1200 OPS. He's been really solid, one of the best shortstops in baseball so far. He is back. Jeffrey Springs, he's only had 1 start so far, but he is their pitcher of the week. 6 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, and 0 hits allowed. Very good game for them, but I do just want to say they've had a very easy schedule so far, playing the Tigers, Nationals, and Athletics. They are the only undefeated team in the league. And Jose Siri has also looked pretty good this year. He had a home run on opening day, and he's just looked pretty good in general over the past week. Next up, we've got the Blue Jays, and they are 5-3. They're second in the division. We will be highlighting Matt Chapman as their best hitter. He has 6 doubles, 7 RBIs, a .450 average, and an 1100 OPS. He's been really solid despite having no home runs. And then we have Kevin Gausman as their pitcher with 12 innings pitched, 13 Ks, and no runs allowed. Moving on, we have the Yankees, who are 4-3 in third place in the AL East. Their hitter of the week is Gleyber Torres with 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 7 walks. And he also has 5 stolen bases with a .400 average and 1300 OPS. Moving on to the pitching side of things, we have Garrett Cole, who has 12.1 innings pitched, a league-leading 19 strikeouts, 1 earned run, and a 0.89 whip. Anthony Volpe has not looked very good. He's hitting below 150. Really, the only thing he's done good so far is stolen 3 bags. Judge is back. He hit the first home run of the year on opening day, and he's been insane. Also, 2018 Gleyber Torres is back. He's looked great so far. Moving on to the Orioles, they are 4-3. We've got Jorge Mateo as their hitter for the week. Didn't expect to say that, but he has 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 3 walks, 5 stolen bases, a .350 average, and an 1100 OPS. Their pitching has been absolute trash, so I guess their best pitcher is Felix Bautista as their closer. He has 3.2 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, an earned run, and 3 saves. And their offense has looked pretty okay, but like I said, their pitching has been garbage. Adley Rutschman had a really nice opening day, and Grayson Rodriguez had a pretty good debut, especially when he's facing off against Jacob deGrom. Next up, we have the team in 5th place, although they are going to have a pretty good player here. They are the 3-4 Red Sox. Their hitter of the week is Adam Duvall with 3 home runs, 12 RBIs, a .450 average, and a 1600 OPS. And this is your AL weekly MVP. He's who I decided. There's definitely a few good choices, but Duvall is the guy who I went with. Nick Pivetta, their pitching has looked absolute garbage. They're kind of like the Orioles. Offense has looked good. Pitching has been awful. Nick Pivetta is their best pitcher, though, with 5 innings pitched, 6 Ks, and 1 earned run. Masataka Yoshida has been okay so far. He hit his first home run. Moving on to the Twins, they are 5-2. Joey Gallo is their highlight hitter with 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, a .280 average, and a 1200 OPS. And their highlight pitcher is Pablo Lopez with 12.1 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, 1 earned run, and a 0.73 whip. Offense has been okay, but their pitching looks absolutely insane. And is there a Joey Gallo resurgence going on? He's got the beard back like he did last year, and he is hitting bombs just like he did with the Rangers. So I hope he's back. I really liked him when he was with the Rangers, and he was just absolute garbage when he was with the Yankees. Next up in 2nd place, we have the Guardians, who are 5-3. Their best hitter, and wait for this is very surprising, is Miles Straw. He has no home runs, but he does have 3 RBIs, 6 walks, 5 stolen bases, and he's hitting .360 with a 900 OPS. Their best pitcher is Shane Bieber with 12 innings pitched, 10 Ks, 3 earned runs, and a 0.83 whip. Offense has been kind of meh, and Zach Plesac is definitely not it. He only went 1 inning against the Athletics and allowed, I think, 4 or 5 runs. Just absolutely garbage, especially against the Athletics. Next up, we have the White Sox, and they are 3-5, but they are on 3rd base because the rest of their division is hot garbage. This is another guy who could have been my AL MVP in Luis Robert. He has 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, a 360 average, and an 1100 OPS so far. Also, they have Dylan Cease, who has 11.1 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, and a 0.71 whip so far. Cease and Clevenger have looked really good. No one else does, though, except for Lance Lynn in his first start. And also, the World Baseball Classic definitely helped with Luis Robert and Yoan Moncada. Oscar Colas looks okay so far, nothing amazing. He made some nice defensive plays, but he's looked pretty good coming up for the White Sox. Next up, we have the Tigers, and they are 2-5, and their best hitter is Matt Vierling. I think that says a lot about their team. They have 1 home run. Well, Matt Vierling has 1 home run, 3 RBIs, a 330 average, and a 900 OPS. Their best pitcher, though, Matt Manning, has 5.2 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, and 2 earned runs, and they're just absolutely terrible so far. But now, we have a team that's been doing even worse than them. Their highlight hitter is Salvador Perez, who hasn't even been good with a homer, 1 RBI, which came from that homer, a 260 average, and a 750 OPS. But Zach Greinke, he is not washed, and he has 11.1 innings pitched, 8 Ks, and 3 earned runs, and he is their highlight pitcher. Next up, we have the 4-3 Rangers, and they are actually in first place in their division. Their highlight hitter and highlight pitcher are kind of surprising, but their highlight hitter is Josh Jung. He has 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, a 270 average, and an 850 OPS. Their highlight pitcher is Dane Dunning, who went 7 innings with no earned runs and a 0.71 whip, although surprisingly only got 1 strikeout in that game. Josh Jung has looked really good to start off the year, although the new shift rules have not helped Seager so far, and DeGrom is still getting used to Texas as he hasn't looked particularly great, although he was much better in his second start compared to his first one against the Phillies. In second place, we have the Angels, and nobody's surprised by their 2 highlight players. Mike Trout is their hitter with 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 8 walks, a 350 average, and a 1200 OPS. Their best pitcher is Shohei Ohtani with 12 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts, and 1 earned run. And the pitching might be looking better than the offense so far because they've had some trouble scoring. And in third place, we have the 3-5 Astros. Kyle Tucker is their highlight hitter with 3 bombs, 8 RBIs, 6 walks, a 320 average, and an 1150 OPS. Framber Valdez is their highlight pitcher with 12 innings pitched, 13 Ks, and 2 earned runs. Tucker and Jordan are absolutely carrying on offense. Corey Julk should not be playing in left field. I'm pretty sure it was only 1 game that he was playing, but he should never be playing. And the Astros so far, World Series hangover, and they are not the only team that's having a World Series hangover right now, but we'll talk about the other team later. Next up, we've got the Mariners. They're 3-5. Their highlight hitter is Ty France with a home run and 6 RBIs. He also has a 330 average and a 950 OPS. Their highlight pitcher is Luis Castillo with 11.2 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, and a 0.43 whip. One of their few good pitchers so far. Luis Castillo, like I just said, has looked absolutely insane. Robbie Ray is injured, and their offense is sputtering. J-Rod has also looked okay, but I decided to go with Ty France. The Athletics, 2-5. Their highlight hitter is Ramon Laureano, and once you hear his stats, you'll see why their offense is hot garbage. So he's their highlight hitter, and he has 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, a 270 average, which I think is the lowest on here for a highlight hitter. Actually, I lied because there's one coming up soon that's way lower than that, and a 950 OPS. Although their best pitcher, Kyle Muller, who they got in the Sean Murphy trade, has actually looked pretty solid in 10.2 innings. He has 8 Ks and 3 earned runs. Like I said earlier, though, their offense sucks. Moving on to the NL now, we've got the Braves. They were 6-2. Matt Olson hit 3 home runs and 9 RBIs with a 310 average and an 1150 OPS. Spencer Strider is their best pitcher with 11 innings pitched, 18 Ks and 3 earned runs. Home runs have been very easy for the Braves, although Max Fried is injured and will be out for his next few starts after getting injured on opening day. Moving on to the Mets, and this is the team I was hinting at that their hitter has lower than a 270 average, and after that we actually have another team that has a low average as their best hitter. But the Mets are 4-4, even though they are in second place. Pete Alonso is their best hitter with 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, a 230 average, and a 950 OPS. Tyler McGill is their top pitcher. In 11 innings pitched, he has 10 Ks and 2 earned runs. Scherzer has looked okay, and Verlander is out, so that could explain why they haven't been great to start. Next up in third place, we have the 3-5 Marlins. They have Jorge Soler, who has 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, a 230 average, just like Alonso, and a 900 OPS. The top pitcher is not Sandy Alcantara, surprisingly. It is Jesus Luzardo, and in 12.2 innings, which is some of the most in the league, if not the most, he has 15 Ks, 1 earned run, and a 0.95 whip. Their pitching has looked very good. Their offense has not looked as good as the pitching, which isn't very surprising, but their offense has looked like straight trash. Next up in fourth place, we have the Phillies. Alec Bohm with a home run and 3 RBIs. He also has 3 walks with 330 average and a 950 OPS as their star hitter. Their star pitcher is just sad, though. Matt Strahm is their best pitcher so far. 5 innings pitched, 4 Ks, and 0 earned runs with a 0.40 whip, but only in 1 start. And like I mentioned earlier, they are also having a World Series hangover. Them and the Astros have been absolute trash. Next up, we move on to the Nationals. They're 2-6. Their best hitter has 1 RBI, 5 walks, a 380 average, and a 900 OPS. That would be Victor Robles. Their best pitcher, Mackenzie Gore, though, has looked actually not that bad. 11.1 innings pitched, 12 Ks, and 3 earned runs. And just overall, they look awful. I don't think anyone's really surprised that they look awful, though. Moving on, we have the Brewers. And this is where your NL MVP is. It is very close between him and the next hitter we will be talking about. But I did decide to go with the hitter right here. So your NL MVP on the side is your batting average leader so far, and that is Brian Anderson. 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, 9 walks, 6 walks, a 500 average, and a 1600 OPS. Their top pitcher has been Brandon Woodruff. In 11.1 innings pitched, he has 12 Ks, 1 earned run, and a 0.88 whip. Garrett Mitchell hit a really nice walk-off against the Mets. Corbin Burns has been absolute garbage, and Bryce Terang, after being called up, has actually looked really good. He had a grand slam against the Mets, I think in that same game. And moving on, we have the Pirates, and this is the guy. They're like neck and neck, but I decided to go with Anderson. Brian Reynolds, 5 home runs, which leads the league, 13 RBIs, 450 average, and also a 1600 OPS. Their best pitcher is Mitch Keller, and in 11.2 innings, he has 15 Ks. Moving on, we have the Cubs, and their best hitter is Ian Happ. He has 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 7 walks, a 400 average, and a 1250 OPS. Happ, my favorite player. He's looked really good so far this year. Moving on, as their best pitcher, we have Marcus Stroman. In 12 innings pitched, he's had 14 Ks, 0 earned runs, and a 0.92 whip. Really, just overall, the Cubs have looked really meh, but Stroman has looked amazing. And next up, our next team might have the most peculiar best 2 players, their hitters and their pitcher, which, I never thought I would be saying these 2 names, and I doubt I'll be saying them again. Jason Vosler was their best hitter in Week 1. He had 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, a 280 average, and a 1250 OPS. And their best pitcher was Graham Ashcraft. In 7 innings, he had 6 Ks, 1 earned run, and a 0.71 whip. Green and Lodolo are off to kind of slow starts. And moving on to the last place team, which this just makes me so happy, the St. Louis Cardinals. Their top hitter is Paul Goldschmidt with a home run, 2 RBIs, 7 walks, a 400 average, and an 1100 OPS. And their best pitcher is very weird. So Jack Flaherty is back for this year. In 10 innings, and this is their best pitcher, by the way, in 10 innings he has 7 strikeouts and 2 earned runs, but 13 walks. Pitching is definitely a problem for this team, but Jordan Walker did get called up, and he has actually looked pretty good. He got his first home run. Next up, moving on to the NL West, which is our final division, we have the Dodgers in first place at 5-3. Their best hitter is Will Smith at 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, 4 walks, a 400 average, and a 1400 OPS. Their best pitcher is Dustin May at 13 innings pitched, 9 Ks, 1 earned run, and a 0.62 whip. Dustin May has looked amazing coming back from Tommy John for a full season this year. He has looked really solid. Him and Julio Urias have looked really good. Even Clayton Kershaw has looked amazing. Moving on, we have the Padres. They're 4-4. Xander Bogaerts is their star hitter. He has 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, a 330 average, and an 1100 OPS. Their star pitcher is Seth Lugo with 7 innings pitched, 7 Ks, 1 earned run, and a 0.57 whip. They're off to a bit of a slow start with Juan Soto and Manny Machado not exactly doing much, but I'm sure they'll do better when Tatis gets back because he has been raking in the minors. We are on to our final 3 teams. In third place, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks at 4-4. Their offense hasn't exactly looked great, but neither has their pitching. Corbin Carroll is their star hitter with 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, a 260 average, and a 750 OPS. Their star pitcher being Dre Jameson with 8.1 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, and 2 earned runs. Their offense, like I said, has looked like garbage, and Zach Allen and Madison Bumgarner haven't really been that great. Moving on, we have the Giants at 3-4. Jock Peterson is their star hitter with 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 230 average, and a 900 OPS. Alex Cobb is their star pitcher with 10.2 innings, 12 Ks, and 3 earned runs. They are hitting tons of home runs. I'm pretty sure they've hit the most home runs in the league. And Logan Webb has had really good strikeout stuff so far, but his ERA is definitely really high. That's why he's not their best pitcher. Moving on, we have our final team in the Colorado Rockies. They're 3-5. Their top hitter is CJ Cron with 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, a 260 average, and a 900 OPS. And then their top pitcher is Kyle Freeland with 12.2 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, and a 0.79 whip. CJ Cron has had a great start, and Freeland made a really nice play against the Padres in the second game of the season. I hope you enjoyed my MLB weekly recap. I will see you next Saturday for the next recap. See you then. Love you all. Like, sub, share. Goodbye.